HTSI stands for Highland Third Sector Interface. We have an agreement with the government to provide support around third sector development, governance, things around social enterprise, promoting that and getting people to think about different enterprising strands of income, as well as looking at supporting the third sector to engage with the community planning partnership with health and social care integration. And we do that slightly differently in Highland from the rest of Scotland. So HTSI works with a number of organisations that it funds to deliver services out and about throughout Highland in different localities, so that hopefully people aren't too far away from some local support. So historically I've had a number of different volunteer roles. I think the very first time I volunteered was probably in a Blue Peter bring and buy sale when I was about 8 or something like that. So I've had various different roles, managing charity bookshops, befriending, teaching English as a second language abroad. More recently I've been involved as almost inevitably on the board of a local third sector organisation, so in this instance it was Ross Ribbon and Zaid. I've also been a children's panel member. Most recently I've been involved and still involved with Inverness Soup. So volunteers that I've worked with and supervised in the past have carried out a wide range of different activities. Most recently we've been involved with volunteers who've been supporting the refugee Syrian families resettling into Highland. But I've also worked with volunteers who've been advisors with the Citizens Advice Bureau, with people who've been befriending, with people who've been teaching English as a second language as well. So quite a wide range of different experiences of working with volunteers. Yeah, with any volunteering role it's essential to offer some form of training. I think it comes in 2 or 3 different parts. First and foremost, you need to make sure that the volunteer really understands what their role is, how they should undertake that, make sure they're supported to be able to sort of induct themselves into that process. I also believe it's exactly the same as with staff. You have a responsibility to make sure that volunteer is given every opportunity to develop as an individual, to grow in that role and to grow their own confidence, because I really do think it's important that a volunteer is given a chance to develop beyond perhaps that initial volunteering responsibility. I think people volunteer for a wide range of reasons. So the people I've come across, they volunteer because they've got that sense of responsibility to their community. Some people volunteer because they want to learn or have new experiences, which I think is a great reason to get involved. Some people are looking to develop them as an individual, maybe for work. Either they're in work and they want to move forward, or maybe they haven't been in work for a while and they want to go back into the workplace, so they want to get sort of those skills built back up. Some people volunteer because they're lonely and they want to be feeling part of a group. Some people get involved because somebody's asked them to, the great word of mouth thing as well. So it's really a wide range of reasons as to why people get involved in volunteering. I think volunteers are the backbone of absolutely everything that happens, not just in Highland, I mean throughout the whole of Scotland and probably well beyond. I do think that volunteers aren't necessarily always recognised for the important role that they have, and it's really interesting that the Syrian families who started to resettle into Highland didn't really understand the concept of volunteering, because it wasn't something they had ever really come across before. But the value that our volunteers have is phenomenal. So they support families who are really at crisis point, they support individuals who have absolutely nowhere else to go or don't feel that they do. They also do a lot of day-to-day functions, you know, from whether it's your Britain and Bloom competitions to your lunch clubs, your charity shop staffing, it doesn't matter, it's a huge range. We've got people going into prisons and befriending individuals who are really looking to rehabilitate their lives, with people supporting victims who are going to court to give witness statements. They're the backbone, they're everywhere without necessarily always being visible. Volunteering 100% leads to employment, there's no doubt about that in my mind. It's not necessarily why everybody motivated to be a volunteer, but it's absolutely critical in terms of your own development pathway into becoming employed. And the more that you get involved in volunteering, the more skill sets that develops within yourself, especially when you're younger, the better placed you are to become a sort of an ideal candidate for an employer. I know that as an employer, I expect to see not just those who've come forward with a good background of experience. Now that experience can come from paid employment without a doubt, but I like to see somebody who's got a volunteering experience, and that's of course important for our sector, but I think it shows somebody who's well-rounded, who's thought about the environment they're in, what they want to achieve and how they want to engage with the world around them. So if you're a student or a young person looking to get involved in volunteering, there are 2 or 3 things that you can do. First of all, the Highland Third Sector Interface website has a volunteering search facility on it, so you can find out what's on there. You can get involved by going along to one of the local organisations that the HTSI funds, and they would be able to provide you with information. You'll find sometimes that there are volunteering fairs going on, or you might have an interest in a particular area of activity or a charity. So for some people it might be around a particular disability, or it could be connected to their community, youth work, possibly around women's rights or the rights of people with an LGBT background. So there's a lot of opportunity there. Contact the organisations directly and see what potentially is up and available for them to get involved with.